Hey guys, what's up? So I'm back, all things Chelonian. I'm here with Matt Patterson and Ryan Selvik. I say that right?
You did. It's
Hey guys.
Norwegian. You're good.
So, we'll let a few people get in, see how it goes, make sure everything's live. Oh, there we go. Sweet. All right. So you guys are some well-known artists. You guys create turtle
Turtle
art.
art.
Turtle
Yeah,
art. Yes, that's how it
Yes, sir.
goes. Turtle art. We
Mhm.
we're
there's
gonna
not a
talk
ton of us turtle artists out there.
yeah,
It's a very niche market.
Yeah.
it is. So the business for turtle art is a select people, select group, and can be used in good ways, honestly. Good ways to use turtle art are children's book, paintings, auctions. There's different stuff. So I'm
Mm.
gonna let these two introduce themselves, give us a little background about themselves and what's going on. So we'll start off with Matt.
Well, my name is Matt. I am a turtle artist and a turtle nerd, like all of you. I've loved turtles my whole life in art, so I've been kind of doing this and making a career out of it. Um, I have some turtle books out right now. I'm working on a turtle book as we speak, so that will be out in 2025. But being a turtle artist, I got to travel all over to see some turtles in the wild and learn about them and research them, and that's like a really important part of my work is being able to see them in the field and seeing them where they belong, like in the natural habitat.
Mm.
Awesome, sweet.
Yeah.
So you took a trip to Madagascar, right? What year was that?
Yes, I did. That was 2019 or
Okay.
2018. Yeah, yeah. I went with the Turtle Survival Alliance, and I was helping with the survey for the radiated tortoises. So
That's
you
all.
you probably know that those two huge confiscations that happened
Mm.
in 2018
Yep.
or 17. What was it? Almost 11,000 in one, and like 7,000 in the other. So
Mhm.
like the goal is to be able to get them back into the wild, so that we're surveying different sites.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah,
That
wild trip.
sounds that sounds like a good experience, good and
Yeah,
bad. Camping out in the woods all the time, barely any showers, old
yeah. It
food,
was
no
it was
electricity.
hot. My tent was I lived in a little tiny tent, which is I live in New Hampshire, and it's more of a New Hampshire tent. And it wasn't like it was a kind of a cold weather tent, and it was like a coffin every night. It was like
Oh
felt
lordy.
like it was over 100 degrees in that thing, but
Sheesh.
it was worth it. It was worth it to see the turtles.
Awesome. All right, Brian, tell us about yourself.
I'm up. Let's see. Well, I think my love of nature, like a lot of you, started as a kid. Grew up camping, fishing, hunting, like some hunting, but not really that much. But I remember my first real introduction to turtles was going up the creek with my grandpa. We would go to the turtle slough and catch snapping turtles and painted turtles, and that was my childhood, and flipping logs for salamanders and all that. And my love of art and nature just kind of didn't go away. I mean, I it was I was compulsively drawing in class and in church, and I have stacks of notebooks still from school that I just never stopped drawing. And the natural world is always an inspirational. It's a an endless spring of inspiration and beauty, and I just can't get enough of that. And so I've always been trying to blend the two in my work. I mean, whether it's tattoo design or children's book design or whatever, I think that I there's always something for me to be inspired by. And so I also grew up keeping animals too, from reptiles, fish, hamsters, all that stuff. And then my I really started focusing into turtles when I did. So my uncle Pete Butt is down in High Springs, Florida, and he invited me to do a turtle survey on the Ichituckney, with the North American freshwater turtle
Not
group.
very. Yeah.
Yeah, so he that was 2018, and so I was in the water for 8 hours a day catching turtles, and I really just my love just, it's like the Grinch heart. It just grew like for turtles specifically. And then I just have been researching and trying to get involved with, because I know how dire the conservation aspect is right now, with
Yeah,
wildlife in general, and turtles are such a keystone species of environments that I really want to. I think by saving them, we're going to save environments, and um, I can use my art and help, inspire
change the
kids,
world.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So with that, what inspired you? Like, has some of Matt's artwork inspired you to do certain things or
Hmm.
certain pieces, or to help move forward and becoming a well-known name in the art industry?
Sure. I mean, Matt's work is incredible. I mean, we all know that it's without question, and he really knows. And to be a good artist, you have to study the form and the colors and the landscape and those environments you make, Matt.
Yeah,
And that does inspire me. But I'm also inspired by, you know, being in nature, by my own observations, and music, and every other kind of art there is, so
100%. I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
for
I've
sure.
been to the springs you're talking about. I've done the
Yeah.
survey. It's incredible. I always say Itcha, Kentucky. Itcha, yeah,
Some other.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty amazing place, though.
Yeah.
It's a great experience seeing them.
Yeah, so my
That's
uncle
so
lives like really close to Ginny Springs, and
Mhm.
so I grew up, you know, I remember just seeing the little musk turtles and the cooters and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
it was like being in an aquarium, and
yeah.
I can't get enough of it still. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Hmm.
So Brian, what would be your favorite species, I would say, of
Oh
turtle?
my gosh.
Yeah, this is a big one. Your favorite species.
Favorite species. I mean, the eastern box turtle. I have 8 of them.
Oh wow.
I unfortunately there's none in Minnesota, but the color, the variation, the the habitat they live in. I mean, I'm so inspired by the just those colors and those
Yeah.
striking patterns.
They're
So
beautiful. Yeah.
How about yourself, Matt?
Wood turtle.
The wood turtle. Okay.
Love wood turtles. We have them in New Hampshire, and I grew up, seeing them,
mm,
and they're beautiful, and just like the habitat they live in. I love
mhm.
being out there. You know, like
Awesome.
trout quality streams. So yeah, wood turtles mine, and I
Okay.
like radiated tortoises too.
And the what?
And radiated tortoises.
Oh yes, of course. Oh, those are definitely one of my top favorites. So
Yeah,
Radiated. Yeah,
yeah,
Dawson, what's your favorite?
it's got to be. I don't have a favorite. I love them all equally. The
yeah,
old
That wasn't the
average.
game.
I'm just kidding. Definitely have to. I was Aldabra and the Radiated are tied for number
Mm,
one for me right now. Those have always been my favorites. It's just the giantness of the Aldabra and then
mhm.
the beautiful personality of the Aldabra. They kind of match with each other. They kind of have similar personalities, but the colors on the Radiated just blow me away every time.
Right.
And the
yeah,
way they grow, the colors and stuff will change as they grow. Their patterns you see will get
Right.
darker, or their eyes.
Yes. Same with
So
the Easterns. I just it's so interesting that and you don't know what it's gonna turn into, and then
yeah,
they just
yeah,
explode as adults. So
exactly.
yeah.
So
The eastern box turtles too. I mean, like when you're holding one, it looks so colorful, like it would never blend in, in the
right.
wild. But if
Right.
you're out there like looking at them,
Mhm.
they're perfect. They blend right in. They're hard to see.
Yeah.
exactly, and I do that. I do that with my tortoises out back. Sometimes I'll go home and I have some of that like tall grass. I forget what they call it, butt grass or some kind of grass I have
Mhm.
outside, fountain grass. I have a couple of those planted around, and I go out there and I go to look for them. Just check on them, and I can't see them. It's like, how do you hide so well?
Right.
It doesn't
Perfect.
make sense. Along with the redfoots are surprisingly good at hiding. They'll dig themselves into little patches of grass and have it cover the top of them, and it's just like crazy that. And they'll I had this big weed in my yard, It was just a weed, and it just grew, and all my redfoots, my adult redfoots, started hiding under it, and they created a little pattern under it, and it kind of grew up like a tree, and it turned into its own little fountain grass. So that was pretty cool. So we're going to say, Matt, how long have you been working with tortoises and turtles, and how many tortoises and turtles do you keep?
Well, I have 13. I've had the longest one I've had is 27 years. And I've been into turtles my whole life. My father was a biology teacher. So, like we would always take me out looking for animals, fishing, looking for turtles, looking for snakes. And some of my earliest memories are turtle memories, just looking for turtles. So
Yeah.
I've been into this my whole life. I find them fascinating. And like you were saying earlier, they're so important to the environment, to ecosystems. And in the Book of Turtles, at the end, wrote about the world turtle. And it's like this image you see in a lot of different cultures of a lot of different creation stories are, the world's on the back of a turtle. And we were like talking about it. It's obviously not literally. It would be cool if it was literally true, but
Yeah.
It really is kind of true in a way because they're so important and they're like foundations of so many ecosystems. Even all like those eggs that get predated upon are important.
Right.
Energy back into the system. So yeah, I just love turtles.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we all do. That might be why we're here. I'm not sure. All right, Brian, how about yourself? Let's hear it.
Sorry, what was the question?
How many species you keep and stuff like that. So
okay. So after that initial turtle survey, I really did my homework, like a good, potential pet owner, in terms of what I wanted, in terms of what, and then looking into the future in terms of my living situation, and what can I grow out? What do I want to do? And expenses and budget and stuff. And, so I actually started with spotted turtles. I had two. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they passed away. Just young, but I currently have 8 eastern box turtles, and then I have a young pair of loggerhead musk, and then a pair of striped neck musk.
Sweet, that's awesome. That's a decent collection for a starter, and that's a big thing is making sure you're educated, you know what you're getting into. Time, space, and finances are a big thing when getting your first turtle or any pet in general. That's something I got going on right now is with these baby radiateds I'm selling. I'm not just going to sell these things to anybody like some breeder who sells, sulcata babies. I'm not that type of person. I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to make sure you have the right time, space, money, and education to take care of this radiated tortoise for the rest of its life, because I don't want it to end up in some random home with a messed up shell or that's no life to live for a tortoise or any reptile that's my rant right there for that. I'm really picky about who's going to receive a tortoise from me, and it's I think everybody should do a little more of a resume process or a background check on who you're selling your pets to and who's buying your pets. It's easier said than done with a lot of these people, but anyways, so
I'll just say I volunteered at a turtle rescue league, and they would get, it was a lot of turtles that were hit by cars or injured, and rehabbing them. But a lot of turtles come in that people give up or they just find, in areas they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And there's really, really messed up ones with shells that are so deformed. It's yeah.
That's something I do not want to happen. That would be horrible on my conscience as a person and as a person who keeps tortoises and turtles. That's what I'm against. I'm against people doing that to them. So if I didn't take the time out of my day to do a background check and thoroughly check these people, and I get things happen in life, and I give everybody the option to send the turtle back to me if they can't take care of it anymore, right?
But yeah, we've all seen what happened, and Chris is getting at Garden State.
Yeah.
Send it back to me, please. A lot of these people that are watching, they run rescues and they see firsthand what's happened. I don't keep any rescues personally. I've had one person offer me a rescue, and it was a sulcata that got hit by a mower, and the whole side of it got chopped off. And that tortoise is doing great. Its shell is fully recovering. I'm making a whole time lapse of it. But in the end, really just do your research. But all right, we're going to talk about styles of artwork. So I know I'm no artist myself, right? I can draw to save my life, but I got two really great artists, and I want to talk about what's your style, what's your flow. It's kind of like music, rap music versus country music, you know? Matt paints a little different than Brian draws, or you know how it goes. So I want to let Matt kind of talk about, hey, this is my style. This is how I do things, and this is the reason for it, or if there is a reason at all. So
Yeah. Well, my style is realistic, and all this. What I love about illustration, and I think one of the things you can do where you can't do with photography is, when you're doing photography, you take a picture, you capture like a split moment, snapshot. Whereas a painting, if you're doing a painting of a tortoise, you can put so much into it. You can, different experiences you had when you saw it, different colors you see that may not be captured in the photograph, and you can kind of compose the way it's looking at you, or maybe that's the way it was looking at you when you were getting reference, and the same with like the lighting and all the habitat, the background. So yeah, so my style's realistic. I do graphic stuff sometimes, but I love to paint in acrylic, and yeah.
Acrylic is pretty cool. So that's when I think about art, when I think about it, it's real. Art is real. It came from someone's hand. It came from someone's mind. That's their perception of what that photo looked like, or what that scene looks like in their mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. So, but how about yourself, Brian?
Oh my gosh. So I'm coming from such a sketch world of tattoos, and I mean, I grew up reading children's books, and that's ultimately what the vein I want to go down, especially with some of my favorite artists, like Roger DeVoisin, Bill Pete, some of those mid-century illustrators. They just have, it's a little more stylized than realism, I suppose, right? So it's a little bit more of artistic liberties have been taken, instead of representing something. And I understand the utility and I respect what stuff like Matt does, and I'm more still trying to find my style,
Right.
and I really gravitate towards line work and texture and movement, and I really want to, and that's why I think this children's book, this turtle coloring book that I'm decided to do is a good project, because it's something that's very tangible for me, and I can just kind of find what works. And
Sweet. So the goal is, I wanted to let you two describe your art just now, and then I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you guys. So I'm going to pull up Brian's first, and I'm going to let you explain and talk about it, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So we're going to start off with, and mind you, people, this artwork is amazing, and
that's the disclaimer.
Crazy. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go put it on my skin as we talk. I'm calling the tattoo artist, and
I have
getting
that one,
getting it all set up. So we'll start off with this first piece. Do you want to tell us about this piece a little bit?
Yeah, it's still a work in progress. Again, really inspired by that mid-century artwork, and I really like university sweatshirts, if that makes sense. So it's like a team graphic, and then why am I pointing? That's weird. Yeah, so I do need something in between those two plants, so a word or a phrase. So that is kind of a TBD. So yeah, no, I don't know. I just really like the kind of the form of that.
I really enjoyed this one as well. This one was super cool. This one gives me like vintage style vibes. So
yeah, so you have to, right? So we know that alligator snapping turtles have lures in their mouth.
Yeah,
So
the little worm.
yeah, so the idea is this alligator snapping turtle is, BYOB. So it just was a kind of a play on that.
Isn't this
Yeah,
so cool? This like really strikes a good group. Like, okay, so these are the type of shirts that I would wear, like on a daily
mm,
basis or to the gym. It's just this vintage style or this
right,
like super unique style artwork, which is super cool. So,
right.
all right, we'll check out some more. Which
That's
one?
yeah.
This one was
What is
cool as well.
what's the medium?
Oh, this is all digital illustration.
Is it?
Yes,
Yep.
this is really good. So, tell us about this one. This looks
Yeah,
like
so I'm very much into uh, studying philosophy and mindfulness, and I really want to convey the importance of preservation and to, my one of my biggest, I don't lose sleep at night over it, but the kind of, we've all seen it, the turtle image where it's just a green turtle illustration or graphic, and it has no, the scoop pattern's not correct, and there's just anatomically it's awful. And so I'm trying to just do it better, essentially. So and I'm really big into mushrooms too. I have a mushroom on my arm, but yeah, I mean, I'm really fascinated by just small worlds and fireflies and just,
terrariums. It kind of like a little terrarium on its back. It
yeah,
looks
it's a
like.
little cloche jar.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really cool. And then, is there any other pieces you'd like to really put some detail on? Let's look at
Oh yeah, we
your,
can.
some of your coloring books stuff. We'll start with the Eastern Box Turtle. How about that?
Yeah, so that one I just posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I was
Anyone's
aware.
welcome to it. As a kind of a kickoff, I know I was really inspired by Matt to do that, to uh, share my work. I mean, I originally submitted this for the US ARC, and then I just never heard anything. So I was
Yeah,
like, you know what?
it is a
I'm
good
just gonna
opportunity.
put it out. And so this was kind of a kickoff to that. And yeah, I just really like how it came out, I guess. And
That's cool. I say this that that coloring books, children's books. That's why I think these two are making a huge impact. As a kid in school, I was not a big book reader. I was a picture
mhm,
book reader. I was a color. I was the kid that went to the library and looked for the reptile books to see like how to take care of stuff. And to
right.
see stuff like this being created right in front of my eyes is from a kid till now, and like seeing the process of it and the people that actually did it. Because I always wondered like who did this stuff, who took the time out of their day to make this
Mm,
photo, who took the time out of their day to color this, and to see the two real walking and talking people that do this stuff is just super inspiring and cool. So I think it's a real big kicker towards the next generation of kids and younger kids in school, like to look at and participate in. So this is incredible work.
Thank you.
Along with this, we'll go through the shell raiser. This is so badass. Sorry about my language, but wow, this is sweet. I'd wear this shirt any day of the week.
Yeah, that was the idea. I really like just a really strong graphic on the back of a shirt. So it was inspired by Southeast Asia and just some of those masks. And so
Wow,
yeah.
that's
Very
really good.
cool.
And then you got what else? One did you want to look at? We got these the splash one.
Yeah, that's
This
just a negative space kind of. It's fine. I don't know.
fine. It's
It's,
beyond fine, brother. This is all good work. Eastern Box Turtle, Hellraiser. This is a nice piece as well.
yeah,
That's
this is actually the God turtle. It says God. There was a, oh, I'm
Yeah, I
trying to think
saw
of the
that.
photographer who took that shot. Can't remember.
that's a
But
good one. That's really nice. And then you
thank you.
got
So
this.
this I wanted to talk about. This will be kind of a preview and some of my process in terms of how I work. So I will actually go out in the field and take some environment shots and try to piece that together.
Sweet. That's good. And do you have any plans for like when you're gonna are you gonna release like a full coloring book or coloring
Yeah.
pages or how talk about that a little bit for us?
Right. So I would love to do a full coloring book. So I have a list going of turtles. So yeah, I just turtles I really like, and I want to get a good breadth, right? So it's not just turtles, not just tortoises. I want some soft shells. I want some aldabras, radiateds, just kind of some snake necks, rhinoclemies, just a really European pond turtle, just a really broad spectrum of turtles. So I'm thinking around like 36, and then release it as a book.
That's gonna be awesome.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Go
also
ahead.
skill level. So some will be less detailed and some will be a little more detailed, depending
Sweet.
on how much time you want to devote to. So
Sweet. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just saying, that's a good variety.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think it's gonna be great. All right.
thank
We're
you.
gonna move on to some of Matt's artwork, and we'll let him explain it. I know a lot of you have, but if you attended TTPG, you talked to Matt, you got to see him speak. He was an awesome speaker. I'm gonna share this screen with you guys, and we'll go from there. Okay. Oh, all right. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about first, Matt? I like the spider tortoise one. Oh, I decided. This is a species I do not keep. I would love to keep a spider tortoise just as a pet. I love them. I think they're cool. We got some spider tortoise masters watching us right now, so that's cool. So tell us about
Yeah.
the
Well,
this.
this one's an illustration from the Book of Turtles, and this is all based off of spider tortoises I saw in the wild. And so, I took all the plants, the vegetation. I was there in the rainy season, so everything was, green and there was flowers out. So I did sketches, I took photos, I took notes, and I kind of gathered all that reference. So this is based off of that.
That's awesome. And you also had participated in this book together with this one. Let's talk about the book. Yes,
Yeah,
this is
so
big.
this
This
is
is
this is a Book of Turtles. It's a kid's book, it's a picture book, but adults like it too. And our
yeah,
goal with this book was to just like get people excited and interested in turtles. Everyone likes turtles, right? It's not like snakes where there's people who are afraid of them, and everyone can recognize a turtle, but turtles are so surprising. There's turtles that can sprint 15 miles an hour on land. There's
sheesh.
turtles that can climb trees. There's turtles with necks longer than their bodies, and we just wanted to like get people excited and basically introduce them to the world of turtles. So that's what this book does. It talks about conservation, evolution. We have Papa Kelly's, which is the grandfather of turtles. So he has like the plastron developing, and yeah. So this came out last spring.
And this book has received an award, a couple awards or an award, correct?
Yeah, it's been winning a lot of awards. It's a Cybert honor book. It won a Riverby Award. It won the undies. The undies is underneath the jacket is the case cover. So if you take the jacket off, it's the pattern of a carapace, and then on the back it's the plastron.
Nice.
Sweet.
So it won that award. It won a Nerdy, another great name, and something else I can't remember now. But yeah, it's doing really well.
That's a lot of awards. And where can they find this book at specifically?
You can find it wherever books are sold. It's online on Amazon, Barnes and Noble,
Amazon? Okay.
local bookstores.
Sweet. And Brian, do you have any type of ambition to put your artwork in any books?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Cool.
Again, more probably children's books, and then see what happens. Go from there.
Sweet. All right, and we'll talk about. Let's talk about this piece. This one's super intriguing. I like it.
Yeah, this is an illustration of Time and Turtles, and that's the other book. And this illustration is one of the things we did for that book. One of the things we did for the narrative is we worked with a turtle rehab, but we also worked with a nest protection group. And so it's a secret area, obviously, and they've been protecting nests of 5 different species: painted turtles, wood turtles, snapping turtles, Lanning's turtles, and spotted turtles. Is that 5? And so there was 2 color illustrations in that book, and this is one of them depicting a nesting turtle.
That's amazing. And how do you start the process of like creating a photo or creating a art piece like this? Like, what's your first step?
Well, first I gather reference, and then I do a sketch, and
Okay.
then I will do more detailed drawing, pencil drawing, and then I'll project my drawing onto like a bigger board. This is illustration board,
Okay.
and I'm pointing at things too here. It's illustration board, and um, and then I just start painting with acrylics, like really thin washes, and just building up tones. I always start with the turtle or the subject first, which is, it's kind of backwards from traditional techniques, but
Mm.
works for me, and that's how I
Well,
do
yeah,
it. Yeah.
obviously it's freaking amazing. And is there ever been a point while you're creating a piece of art where you get close to the end and you just mess up something terrible? Like, have you ever had to restart from scratch or no?
Not really, but there's always a point in my paintings where I'm like, oh, it looks like I'm losing control of it, but I'm
Okay.
used to it now. Yeah, when I because I always start with like on a turtle painting, I start with the turtle. So as I'm doing the background and
Mm.
adjusting things, there's always like a moment where it looks like I've just completely lost it. But
Mm.
yeah,
That's
usually
awesome.
usually pull through. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have the tendency to overdo it. Like I'd start something, I'd go to the end of it, and then I'd just keep adding stuff where it's not where I make it too bad. Like I just go too hard. You ever
Mm.
done that before? You just go too far. This painting really touched me. They had this at the auction for TTPG. This has got to
Mm.
be one of my top 3 favorite artworks I've ever seen in my life. It's just great.
thanks. Yeah,
Thanks
Lonesome
to
Lord. This is in the Book of Turtles, and one of the things we did in the Book of Turtles is we have celebrity turtles. So we have some profiles, and this is Lonesome George. We all
Mm.
know, the story of Lonesome George, but
Yeah.
but not everyone does. And he was discovered in the '70s by a snail biologist, and last of his kind. So that's what this
Mm.
is.
that's a
We
great
have,
art.
let's see, what do we have for celebrities? We have Myrtle from the New England Aquarium. We have Fire Chief, who's the snapping turtle, who I'm working on a book about him right now.
Nice.
Um, we have Poldy and BB, which are two turtles that broke up. Um, when we have Lonesome George.
Have you seen the tortoise the from Fernandina? I think what's his name found the Fernandina
Yeah,
tortoise.
yep.
They,
I did a
they have,
painting of it.
yeah, that's a really cool
Yeah,
story as well. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
yeah.
And then
It's funny, like I had just done a painting of that tortoise based on all like these old photos of the shell that they had, and
Mm.
it was for a book, and then they found it like a couple weeks later. So
wow,
it's
that's
pretty
awesome.
funny.
That's really cool. I really thought that was a neat story and a cool
Yeah, I hope they find another one.
yeah, that praise the Lord.
Yeah,
Talk about this one. This is a really cool painting. It sculpts. Is that a deer jaw? I'd say, or
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
This is
okay,
a bog turtle, and about I don't know, like 5 years ago, I got to go out with New York Fish and Game, where they had some bog turtles that they were radio tracking,
okay,
Mm.
and so we went out. It was a really hard place to get to. It's good for the turtles, right? And they're really hard to find. Even though we knew there was like 3 of them in this area, we only found one, and we
Mm.
we knew there was one in this tiny little area, but we still couldn't find them. They're really, really small, really hard to find. But there was a lot of pitcher plants. That's poison sumac, the leaves. And where we found one, there was a skeleton, and there was a jawbone right near it. So it was a weird little scene, and I kind of wanted to recreate that and paint it.
a great job. That's really
Matt,
cool.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
So why do you not paint the full into the background?
yeah. I like to use like the negative space,
Yeah.
and this kind of helps, as a
Yeah.
design element, and just kind
Yeah.
of pop the rest of it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's it's really good.
Sure.
And Time and Turtles. Let's talk about this book.
Yeah, this one came out in September. They hit the Times bestseller list the first week, which is exciting. And this is I illustrated this. Cy Montgomery wrote it,
Okay,
and so to do this book, to research the book, we volunteered with a turtle rehab. That's what I was talking about when I say I worked with a rehab, and the Turtle Rescue League, and they get a lot of injured turtles, and they do get turtles that are given up. That's what I was talking about, the deformed ones. But
Right.
yeah, so we worked with them, and we worked on all these injured turtles and got to see some amazing stories. And like Fire Chief was one of the turtles we met. Now lives with me. Snapping turtle, really old. He was called Fire Chief because he lived in a behind a fire station in a pond. And every year he would go to a different pond to brumate, and he was hit by a car. 2018, he crawled back to his pond, and the firemen saw him, and they called the Turtle Rescue League. The firemen saw him. I mean, these are like heroes that run into burning buildings, but they were afraid of him because he was a snapping turtle. So they called TRL, and these two skinny ladies came out, one of them blind, and they found him, brought him back, patched him up. And when we met him, we started doing physical therapy with him. He's not releasable, so that's why he lives with me. We built him a pond, so he's a big part of the story. He's a big part of this. We visited the Turtle Survival Center.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the narrative, got to do some work with them in the turtle ponds, and we worked with a nest group protecting nests of 5 different species. So
Nice.
That's great.
it's kind of our turtle journey.
Turtle journey. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think books are a great way to illustrate like the history of them. You can keep track of that tortoise. That turtle's life is now put into a book and printed forever and for history in the next generation. Let's talk about this is a really good photo. I like the depiction of the eye going sideways. It works really well. It's very realistic. So what inspired you to draw this?
One of my favorite species, and this is a turtle. This is an injured turtle. His shell was pretty cracked up, but he survived. And really, wood turtles have so much personality. Kind of, I mean, they're my favorite species. Just like Aldabras have a lot of personality. Wood turtles are so smart. So this one, he looked at me like that. So
that's perfect. He looked at me like that, so I drew it.
So I drew him.
Yes, awesome. All right, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity. Brian, who and why are some people that inspired you to start your career or start your endeavor and journey into turtles and tortoises? So let's hear it.
Oh, my turtle and tortoise journey. I would have to acknowledge, growing up, Steve Irwin. I know it's
Big one.
Jeff Corwin, David Attenborough, those guys that were, larger than life. Even like, oh God, what was his name? Marty Stauffer. Do you ever watch that? Like Wild America,
right?
Yeah. But then, even people like my uncle, Pete, and I've gotten to know some really great people in the turtle world. Charlie Moorcroft, like
shout out Charlie.
Shout out to him. He's incredible. And
by Moorcroft Foundation, so that's cool.
Yeah. Such an amazing human being, and we just connect. I think our souls connect, just on turtles, but also life and art. And I don't know, just other people that inspire me. Yeah, family and friends, and have been really supportive. Kept turtles at my parents' house, and they help feed them. And my fiance Sydney, very supportive.
Supportive partner, and Anthony Perloni will tell you all about that. Is supportive partners. They're big.
She draws the line at snakes and spiders, but she's okay with turtles. But
hey, that's good, right? It's compromise. It's compromise. Mm-hmm. So those are. Did you? I can't remember. Did you attend TTPG this year? Correct.
I did not. I'm planning to go this year. Next year.
Next year.
24. Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. I'd love to see you. And how about yourself, Matt? What started, inspired your artwork? And is there anybody particular or people that inspired you?
Some of the people you named, Brian, but I would say my parents, definitely. My dad, because he was a biology teacher and he was always showing me animals, and I, as far back as I can remember, I was looking for turtles and snakes and fish, and so he really got me into that, and my mother, because I I used to have a ton of animals when I was growing up, and my whole room was full of animals, and she encouraged it, and she was okay with it, and
Mhm.
not a lot of mothers would be like that. So definitely my
That's cool.
parents.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool that you
Yeah,
have some
The best.
supportive parents to help support your career and your life choices and kind of
yeah.
inspire you to do this. So that's awesome. That's really
Mhm.
cool. So, um, me and Matt had the opportunity to meet at TTPG this year. That's why TTPG is so great. It's it's a cool people to connect. Me, Matt, and Jerry Fife had the opportunity to go sit down for lunch and talk about tortoises and turtles. So I really encourage you guys, if you can or if you are, attend this year. Get to know people, talk, get yourself out there. Make sure you listen. Listening is a huge thing too. If you're new in the game, you can learn a lot from these people. So we have some questions, you guys, for you guys. This will go for both of you. I'm going to alter the question. This one's from Sam Schulman. He's from Soto Exotics. Cool dude. What size paintings do you guys sell, and will you be selling your stuff, Brian? Like some of your artwork. We'll
Yeah.
start off with Brian, and then we'll go to Matt.
Yeah. I would really like to get in with those entry level items. So uh, either print on demand and like t-shirts and stickers and hats and that kind of thing, and really start there, and then exactly, yeah, and just build out and build up. And in terms of prints, I'd be open to it. I think it would just be a print on demand kind of situation.
Yeah, and I think you have a perfect person here to help you kind of guide the way. You had to figure it out on your own, or did you have someone that helped guided you to do the prints, the box, the website, the books? Did you have that all? Like, did people guide you, or did you have to figure that path out yourself?
I figured a lot of it out, myself. Things
Mm.
have definitely evolved from when I first started. But yeah, I have my own printers, so I do
Mm.
all my own printing.
Okay.
So I can print on demand. I just print to order.
Mm.
But yeah, I have prints. I have originals that I sell. I usually sell the original illustrations after the book is out.
Mm.
Um, all different sizes. I always paint bigger than the actual size of the book. Everything looks a little bit better when it's reduced down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing I'm doing right now is you might have seen it. I'm doing a turtle art box. So
Yes, yes. I was going to bring it
yeah,
up. So talk about that for us real quick.
yeah. So basically, it's for kids, but I think a lot of adults gonna like it too. And every month I'll do a drawing of a different species of turtle, and I'll print it out on like high quality paper, and the box will come with that drawing. It will
Mm.
come with all the stuff you need, like all the paints and the brushes, a little card with information about that turtle. $1 every box goes to the Turtle Survival Alliance, and I'm doing a YouTube video, so like a paint along, so people
Okay.
can follow.
Nice.
So yeah, just starting it. This is the first month, so
I think
Cool.
that could go really far. I think like if there's anybody out there with a lot of money, this could be really big for school classrooms, art classes and stuff like
Mm.
that. With the new technology, you can just get a box, if they had like a bulk order, get into a classroom and a day of painting turtles or a week of painting turtles and learning about turtles, that'd be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's an
The
awesome
goal
idea.
is to educate. Education leads to conservation. So
Mm.
That's awesome. And Brian, Matt, you have stuff for sale, right? Sorry,
yep,
right? You
yep.
and you have a website, correct?
I have a website, mpattersonart.com, and then I have an Etsy site.
Etsy and Facebook. You guys can find his stuff on Facebook and stuff like that.
Nice.
Mhm.
We're gonna answer some questions in the comment. Are turtle hands easier to draw than human hands? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I want to know.
I think my hands are wrinklier than a turtle's hands. Um, yeah, turtle hands are pretty easy.
It depends how detailed you want to get in the mediums and all the things. I don't know. We've all seen, someone like Da Vinci draw a human hand versus, you know, this or that. What is it, turkey? So
Hand
Yes.
turkey.
To answer your question, Dan, I have not been building up my tolerance to Thai food. That stuff knocked me out. I will have to reduce my spicy intake. We were at TTPG this year, and I went with some of the guys to the Thai place. I guess it's super popular for the guys, and I was kind of confident. I was like, yeah, I can handle some spicy food. And they're like, so I got this Thai spicy, whatever. I took one bite and knew I made a huge mistake. So yeah, that was a big. Yeah, right. And then Matt, so do you have any advice for Brian in his career path or his path for this endeavor on doing turtle art and getting involved in turtles and tortoises? What piece of advice could you give him?
Well, one of the best things I did was I started going to conferences and meeting people. I went
Okay.
to the Turtle Survival Alliance conference symposium, every year.
Mhm.
This is my first year at TTPG. I went to the joint conference of ichthyology, herpetology,
Mm.
and some other, wildlife nature things. And so that's always great. Meeting people, making connections,
Right.
helps you get out into the field to see some of the stuff in person. I say persistence is really important, and starting out by like doing some prints or like some t-shirts. You could use like Bonfire, which is an on-demand print,
Right.
and you never even have to handle it. So that's
Right.
really good way of doing that.
Right.
And just continuing to paint. I paint every day, draw every day. And if
Mhm.
you look at my paintings now, as opposed to even like 3 or 4 years ago, I think they look better. So, constantly trying to learn and
Right.
improve. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's good advice. And is there any questions you'd like to ask Matt personally about for yourself and what you'd like to know from him?
Oh, I think so. Maybe what is in store for you moving forward or in your career?
I'm doing some more books, so
Okay.
that's
Awesome.
one of the things. Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
doing a book about Fire Chief, the story of his
Yep.
life, and then have some other books lined up after that. So,
Mhm.
um, kind
Right.
of continuing to do the fine art and books at the same time.
Mm.
Trying
Right.
to, I want to show a few more galleries, stuff like that. So,
Right.
That's awesome. That's really
yeah.
good. And podcasts like these are a good way to help everybody build up their people and get to know more people. I know I don't have the most people watching, but it's a start. I'm starting out just like Matt started out one day, and just like Brian started out one day.
Yeah.
I mean, I started out a podcast, a ball python podcasts a year ago when there was probably 10 viewers, and I had no idea how to talk on camera. And then Two Turtle Tom gave me an opportunity to speak on his podcast, and that inspired me to start my podcast. So
Yeah.
I talking turtles with you guys, and I enjoy getting to know more people. And if some of you guys don't know, the goal for this podcast is to pair up a veteran and a newer guy to try to help connect them and connect, maybe inspire somebody in the comments or somebody viewing to do what they're doing and take that step to put themselves out there. And that's why we're here. That's what we're doing, to inspire the next generation. So, Matt, hate to put you on the spot, but are you going to be at TTPG next year? This year, my
Uh,
bad.
this coming year. I don't know. I don't have my schedule lined up yet. So,
That's all
yeah.
good. And that happens. I mean, some people are busy. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with life. And how about yourself, Brian?
Yes, I'm planning on attending this year.
Sweet, that's awesome. I'm glad to see that you'll be there. So, all right, I'm gonna open up the floor to you guys for any questions you have to ask for me, and then we can go forward from there. No questions. Sweet.
I don't know. Okay, I'm on the spot now. Yeah.
Wait, we're asking you?
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the floor for questions for you guys to ask me. If you have any questions
Okay.
about me and myself, I'm not a big self-talker, so like about myself, so I allow questions from the guests.
Gotcha. Let's see.
Well, how long have you been into turtles?
Well, I started when I was 16. My parents, I got $100 saved up from all my family members for Christmas, or I can't remember, a holiday. I took the $100 to the general store. I'm from the Midwest, so me and Brian get along. We both grew up with the snow. You got snow in New York, but it's
Not this
different
year.
in Iowa and Minnesota. Yeah, we grew up real close to each other. So I took it down to a place called Casey's. It's a general store that I feel like should be all over the world because it's got the best pizza. I bought a Visa card. I went on, I think it was Backwater Reptiles or Underground Reptiles. I can't forget, one of those atrocious sites that shouldn't be selling animals. And I bought myself a sulcata tortoise. I hid it from my parents. They're not pet people. So I hid it from my parents, but I gave it the proper care. And they made me get rid of it. And now I have the collection I have today. I got out of college, started building up my collection again. I think I'm at almost 60 animals. But like I said, it's not about the number of animals you have. It's about how well you can take care of them. And I try to take care of my animals as best as possible. There's people that do really well with a lot, and there's people that do even better with less. So, Casey, I got that, and now I'm here today. Probably a year later, I've started to seriously get into tortoises and turtles with TTPG. Someday I hope to be a speaker there, kind of like you, Matt. That'd be really cool to talk to the people. And yeah, that's how I got into tortoises and turtles. Charlie Moorcroft asked about, shout out to Charlie Moorcroft and the Moorcroft Conservation. Amazing conservation. They do a lot for everybody. They are the sponsor of this video. Shout out to them. So if you're going to donate to anybody,
Thanks, Charlie.
Go donate them. Are you guys going to Turtle Fest? We had a little conversation pre-show about this. So let's hear it.
I think I had to pick and choose, so I don't know. I don't think I can make it.
Nope.
Yeah, it's coming up quick, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make that either. It's end of April, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to get out to it, but
yeah.
So
I only have so much time off work, and I have other things going on. So
yeah. Daytona Reptile Show. I've never attended personally. I might go this year with the schedule with the military. It's kind of hard. Now that I'm on the board, you got to ask for permission to leave anywhere.
When is that?
I'm not sure when Daytona is. I know Anthony just asked it, and I know Charlie's got something going on for that. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to go to. I don't know if I'll make it to Daytona. I'll try though. I wish I could travel the world. I wish I was rich. Don't you guys wish you were rich and travel the world all over? There we go.
We should just print more money.
Print more money. Matt will draw it. We'll print it. Game over.
Gonna do more turtle paintings, you know?
yeah. Just sell the tortoise paintings. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. I really appreciate having you guys on. It's been a pleasure. I learned a lot. I also enjoyed listening. Thank you to everybody who came in. I know a lot of the guys came in late because I messed up the time. That's on me. If you have any suggestions on who you think should be next on the guest or who you think should be on the show in the future, I'd really enjoy the suggestions. Please DM me. And if you have any questions, don't feel afraid to reach out to these two. They're very talkative, great people, and they would love to speak tortoise art with you guys. So thank both of you for coming, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dawson. Matt, thank you. Appreciate it.
Peace out. Have a good night. And